In the prior 4 years, crooked Joe Biden oversaw less than $1 trillion of new investment in the United States. In 9 months, I've secured commitments of over $18 trillion. The stock market has set 40-time all-time record highs, and GDP growth in the second quarter was an amazing almost 4%. In the third quarter, we're on track to achieve an estimated 4.2, maybe more. Gasoline prices have plummeted to the lowest in 2 decades, and we're going to soon see $2 gasoline. Thinking grocery prices are way down, and Walmart just announced that the cost of their standard Thanksgiving meal is 25% lower than 1 year ago. Since March, the price of eggs is down 85%. Energy prices are down, interest rates are down, and the cost of the typical new mortgage is down by nearly $3,000 a year. Day by day, we're making America affordable again.
Right on cue. The shutdown is over. The Clintons are exposed. Obama's exposed. And what does the media do? Epstein. The distractions are so noticeable now. We're going to catch on to what they did and why they're playing this game. We will get into this today, really get into the manipulation playing out before our very eyes. Many are catching on. You'll be excited to know how we win this. And we've got a lot more to cover on how folks have been part of the Great Awakening. They had to see it for a nation to make the moves that it's making today. Thank you so much for helping us out on Rumble, reach 500,000 followers. Thank you for sharing this channel, hitting that like button. Many might be finding us on YouTube again, but I tell you what, their manipulation makes me nervous. And so if so many folks run over there, they're going to realize maybe someday I'll get shut down again because I don't trust them. Rumble took care of us, and that's why I ask you guys to stick around with them. Chris did a good job in making sure that we were taken care of. And here's something for you for Thankful Thursday.
It's Thankful Thursday, and this week we're partnering with Dr. Kelly Shockley to give you a free gift with any purchase all weekend long. You'll be receiving a Pure Beauty Vitamin C Serum and 100% beeswax tea light candle. Dr. Shockley and her Core Health Advantage team are bringing you clean ingredients so that you can let your body do what God designed it to do, heal and thrive naturally. On top of that, we're giving you our And We Know Christmas puzzle. Just add anything to cart this weekend and the free gift will automatically apply.
Pretty amazing, right? Thankful Thursdays, we love them. You guys get gifts with your order. Remember, we've got some new embroidered collection. Make Heaven Crowded, Jesus Saves, John 14:27. We've got also Follow Me and I Will Make You Fishers of Men, Matthew 4:19. Also, remember we have the Aqu water bottles and tumblers. The new ones are out. Truth, Hope, Faith, and Freedom. Sweat gear, and also T-shirts and bags. Absolutely amazing. It's in the description box below. Please head over there and check that out. Democrats began screeching at each other on the House floor when members of their own party defected and voted to reopen the government. That's right. They were screeching like they were in a like you were in a horror show. And you could barely pick it up. You can hear some of it. I'll play it a little bit later. But bottom line is, the Democrats are in full meltdown. President Trump has made it known.
For the past 43 days, Democrats in Congress shut down the government of the United States in an attempt to extort American taxpayers for hundreds of billions of dollars for illegal aliens and people that came into our country illegally. From gangs, from prisons, from mental institutions. They wanted to pay them $1.5 trillion, which would have really hurt our healthcare businesses and our recipients at levels never seen before.
And so the shutdown has been declared finished. And we've had enough, haven't you? Let's see if I have that clip. Do I have that clip for President Trump?
So with all of that, I just want to tell you the country has never been in better shape. We went through this short-term disaster with the Democrats because they thought it would be good politically. And it's an honor now to sign this incredible bill and get our country working again. Thank you.
And with that, the signature and the party standing behind him. Folks, it's a big deal to me as he signs this, just to remind you that there used to be a party where we would just sign whatever showed up, and we would all get frustrated year after year, day after day, because the Republicans would just sign whatever. it'd be filled with pork, and you'd be like, oh, whatever, we don't care what's in the bill. Sorry, we got to get this moving forward. And it seemed like the Democrats and Republicans were always working together. This time, just a little bit, it appeared that they held the line, and it was biblical in a sense, making it to that 40th day before they started signing again and voting again. And so here's that. Let's see if we can get that sound for everyone on the screeching. Yeah, it sounded like they're in hell, and they're screaming and yelling and not happy that America's going to be back up and running again. It just seems like it. I tell you what, these guys have lost their mind.
As you pointed out, the Democrats were holding our country hostage to try to negotiate on a healthcare system that they created. Obamacare, as it's famously called, is a system the Democrats created. It is a broken system. It has driven up healthcare costs dramatically in this country. And now they shut the government down to try to fix that system they broke. It doesn't make any sense to us, which is why the president said that's a completely untenable position. However, once the government reopens, the president, as he's always maintained, is absolutely open to having conversations about healthcare. And I think you'll see the president putting forth some really good policy proposals the Democrats should take very seriously to fix, again, the system that they broke. You can't trust the same people who broke the system to fix it. And so the American people will continue to hear from the president on this issue.
Oh, Obamacare. We're going to bring up Obama a lot today. I'm going to show you guys the moment when 30 million Americans received health care in 2010. You see that face? Here they are watching. They're like, we're hoping this is going to happen. We're going to make a historic moment for our country. We're going to steal everyone's money. All of these insurance companies are going to be filthy rich, all my buddies and more. It's going to be a tax on our people. We just love taxing all the people and stealing their money. So amazing. And that's exactly what they're celebrating. Now, if you look right there at this guy on the left, you know who it is. If you're looking at your screen. If you're not, this is the original Joe Biden, the real Biden. You can tell by his mannerisms and more that this guy is not the same as the one with the wearing the mask all the time. There are probably about 4 or 5 different actors playing that guy. Look at the way he walks, the way he looks, and everything. Completely, that was the real deal. The real guy before he was shot. He lost half his brain, said President Trump. I think it was December 2021 of 2020. Yeah.
To vote to reopen the federal government.
So Representative Brandon Gill, as he's excited about making the announcements of the vote to reopen the government, you can hear the screeching even more so from the Democrat side.
House should be in order.
Mr. Speaker, for 40 days, the Democrats shut our government down to pursue unrealistic policy proposals that they know the American people do not want. Mr. Speaker, the American people do not want health care for illegal aliens. They do not want our tax dollars funding left-wing media outlets, and they do not want to drive up our debt $1.5 trillion as part of a short-term continuing resolution. Mr. Speaker, the last 40 days have been nothing but pure political nihilism, and I'm glad that this nightmare is over so that we can get back to work on behalf of the American people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.
It's about time. Isn't it great to have some young folks there? So let's go back and visit Democrats. What do they think about the shutdown?
Shutdown worth it? Yeah, I think so. I hate
Was
it.
the shutdown worth it? Was it worth it? Mr. Democrat, Senator Hickenlooper?
Yeah, I think so. I hate it. But yeah, it was worth it. Definitely. We got people to pay attention to the fact that this is a traumatic, in many cases, life or death situation for people all over this country.
Was the shutdown worth it?
Senator Jack Reed, Rhode Island.
I think it was, because I think
Oh, it was worth it.
the perception, we made it clear that this, not just the healthcare issue, but the whole issue.
Not just the, but it was the whole issue. You see, isn't it interesting, folks? They're kind of off kilter a little bit, a little off message. they were always kind of together and seemed like they had the right messaging, and they always beat us up, and we were always frustrated because the Republicans didn't make sense. They couldn't do anything for us. Not that Republicans are always good. We got rhinos. I get it. But I'm just saying, do you notice they're a little off kilter? Just something seems a little off, doesn't it? Now, there's the 2013 video of Chuck Schumer calling a government shutdown politics of idiocy.
What if I persuaded my caucus to say I'm going to shut the government down? I'm going to not pay our bills unless I get my way. It's a politics of idiocy, of confrontation, of paralysis. It's a
politics of idiocy. How could you do a shutdown? Are you guys stupid? Oh, how they forget that we've got all this stuff recorded. It's amazing to have patriots out there that pull these clips for us and share them on social media. That's why they wanted social media shut down. That's why I didn't like it when X was pretty much put together back for us, and Truth Social and all these amazing platforms, Parler and others, Getter. People are talking. They're sharing. And the wake up continues. Obamacare was the taxpayer funds. Remember this? They go to Obamacare, and then the Obamacare would go out the back door and feed them off to the insurance companies to make them filthy rich. And it kind of makes me think. You guys ever watch? There's a YouTube channel that's grown by the millions, where some young guy in his 20s. Muscle-looking dude goes around to different cities like Miami and Dallas and Los Angeles, and he's asking people, how much money do you? I've got 900 million. How did you do that? Well, yeah, I did it through online, through this company, or through health. They'll say through health systems or whatever. And I'm like, looking back thinking, how did they get their money? Well, let's see what it does to the average person that's never going to get approached by that guy asking how they got their money since they steal from us.
So I have United Healthcare, and I have just received my benefit summary for next year. If I keep my current plan, my monthly premium is going up 52.8%. Let me show you. My premium will be going from an already outrageous $422.04 per month to $644.91. I don't understand how this is legal. I don't understand how this is ethical. I don't understand anything about it. If I didn't have access to the medications that I take on a monthly and daily basis, I would be dead. Or I would be so sick mentally and physically that I'm unable to work. How am I supposed to do this? Luckily, because the health insurance that my job provides has become so expensive, I qualify for a tax credit. And so my plan with my tax credit really isn't going up all that much. But still, technically, it is $650 for me to live every month, for me to survive. What is going on in this country?
Oh, my goodness. Some had to see it. One of today's most important deltas, that was actually yesterday, November 12th, Real AF Patriot let us know. What happened in 1913? Passed by Congress on July 2nd, 1909, and ratified February 3rd, 1913. The 16th Amendment established Congress's right to impose a federal income tax. This gave our government the right to endlessly steal our wealth to enrich themselves. President Trump has diligently been working on ending this. There have to be a lot of steps along the way, and he is constantly taking those steps to end the federal income tax. It's going to happen. It is exactly why he created the External Revenue Service. So remember this drop. On the cue board, who are the silent thieves? Why are they manipulating you? How are they stealing your wealth? Bubble, crash, steal, lie, repeat. What is inflation? Monetary manipulation? Taxation without representation? Put an end to the endless. 1913. All the scams that are played out before us are being exposed day after day, month after month. We've been going at this for many, many years. And we're finally starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel, especially when they start screaming Epstein. Well, why are they screaming Epstein? I don't know. Maybe there could be some news out there that they just don't really want to cover. Oh, here's something. A press release from the United States Attorney's Office. California political consultant and former public official charged with conspiracy to commit fraud and obstruct justice, false statements, and tax crimes. Oh, Dana Williamson, Newsom's former chief of staff. 4 others indicted for corruption. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, Gavin Newsom. The walls are crumbling down for this guy. He has no idea what's coming. Maybe he has some idea. But he's going to do all he can to manipulate and use the election system for theft so he can continue to make it look like he would be a great leader for our country. Yet while that plays out, many, many are waking up. And so what do? Oh, they start bringing up the Jeffrey Epstein hoax again. President Trump says they'll do anything at all to deflect on how badly they've done on the shutdown and so many other subjects. Let me make sure we underline that. And so many other subjects, not just the shutdown. See, President Trump knows it's not just the shutdown. So many other subjects. He could probably list a number of them that have been coming up lately. The arrests, the economy's getting better, like we showed you in the intro. Let's see. All of the Democrats that have been caught. Obamacare's a disaster. Oh my goodness, Hillary Clinton's going to be in trouble. We're going to catch her too. And we could just go on and on. Only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into that trap. The Democrats cost our country $1.5 trillion with their recent antics of viciously closing our country, while at the same time putting many at risk, and they should pay a fair price. There should be no deflections to Epstein or anything else, and any Republicans involved should be focused only on opening up our country and fixing the massive damage caused by the Democrats. In other words, the Democrats are using the Jeffrey Epstein hoax to try and deflect from their massive failures, in particular, their most recent one, the shutdown.
Ben? I wish you guys gave this much thought and much obsession over this when Joe Biden was president. I wish you were asking for this much transparency when it wasn't about attacking the president of the United States of America.
That's Ben Ferguson on the Communist News Network, about to take these freaks on the left through give them a little spanking.
And to score political points, I wish you guys cared about the victims as much as you care about trying to attack Donald Trump. When CNN's own reporting says, and I quote, the woman who is the survivor literally accused Democrats, not Republicans, of hiding her name because she had not alleged Trump to have done anything wrong.
You're talking about Virginia
Correct.
who we just talked about.
And my point is,
she died by, just to be clear, she died by suicide.
But
that was
she
before
accused Democrats when she was alive. Her words of hiding her name because she had not alleged Trump to have done anything wrong. That is how sick and partisan this has become. You guys didn't care about the victims. You didn't care about anything else. And now you're saying, well, maybe Donald Trump knew of a crime and maybe didn't report it. That's just straight up slander and libel.
No, it's not slander and libel.
You're telling you just said that the president
I let you finish.
watched a crime.
You turn that glove inside
one
out.
thing up because
Oh boy. Chirpity chirp chirp chirp. Help, somebody, alert, he's telling too much truth. My hope is, as many others have been posting on social media, when they say, oh, you mean she committed suicide? So, there's a connection to that. So maybe her words don't really mean much because she committed suicide. Yet she told everyone she wasn't suicidal. What's interesting is a lot of folks have been stating, wonder if she went into witness protection program and she's given up as much information as she can. Man, I've got a lot to cover on this. Oh, a lot to cover. Stand by. You know what's happening in this country. Big corporations and the deep state are swallowing up family farms and ranches. We're talking 15 to 30,000 gone every year, folks. In just the last 5 years, 20.1 million acres of farmland erased. Families who've been raising your food for generations are being pushed off their land, and the ones who survive, well, they're hidden behind big corporate brands never recognized. That's why I want to introduce you to Tri-Tails Beef. They're a fifth-generation Texas family ranch, and they raise cattle the right way. Pasture-raised, grain-finished for flavor and tenderness, and never touched with mRNA shots. And here's something I love. They even source from other ranchers who meet their same high standards. It's all the same care, genetics, and integrity. Their beef is the real deal. High-end Black Angus genetics, aged to perfection, shipped straight from the ranch to your door. This isn't just about a steak. It's about taking a stand for American ranching, real food, and the families who make both possible. So if you want to fight back, if you want to keep your dinner table connected to real American hands, go to trybeef.com/AWK and support Tri-Tails today in the description box below. So, the Democrat Jeffrey Epstein hoax right here. Congressman Robert Garcia. Trump is directing a White House cover-up of the Epstein files. He campaigned promising he would release them, and now he's flip-flopped. He's hiding something, he says. Kimberly Auer says POTUS is just getting them to beg for it. It's all. Yeah, he's saying, we need these files. We need them, right? But you're going to find out that they voted against having them released in a moment. Just like the last time he called it a hoax. The louder they get, the more the mainstream media will cover it. The more super asleep normies will hear it from the mainstream media. That's right. You even see press release. Oversight Committee releases additional Epstein estate documents. House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform released an additional 20,000 pages of documents received from the estate of Jeffrey Epstein. People start looking into it even more so. While everyone's getting upset that Trump and company is playing games on the Epstein front, they're missing the clues that show this is all designed to continue to force conversation and increase public awareness. You don't keep talking about something that you're trying to hide. Because we've got the receipts. Remember, it's on the cue board showing some interesting pictures of young girls with some pretty prominent people. Oh, yeah. Liz Crokin, Democrats tried to implicate Trump via Jeffrey Epstein again after Kash Patel and Pam Bondi sent files on Clinton Foundation corruption. It should be no surprise that Democrats and the media are trying to incriminate President Trump by lying about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein again, because Kash Patel and Pam Bondi sent Congress documents exposing the Clinton Foundation corruption. They're trying to distract from the real criminals, Bill and Hillary Clinton. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein worked with the Clinton Foundation, which was involved in child trafficking, as I've reported for years now. Amazing, huh? Timing, how that all plays out.
October, a month before, weeks before the presidential election. She was a huge Trump fan. Two reasons for that. One, she had met Trump on numerous occasions because she worked at Mar-a-Lago Spa in Florida, which he owns. And her father also worked there and knew Trump pretty well. So she was introduced to Trump. He was kind to her. The second reason she wanted Trump to be president was because he campaigned on releasing the Epstein files.
We're talking about Virginia Giuffre.
And she was excited about that. So, yes, we talked about Trump a lot.
As a crusader to release the Epstein files, in that sense.
She was very excited that he had made that one of the main planks of his campaign. And she felt validated by it.
But she never talked about him in any sense that he was involved in any of this?
No. No, he was not. As far as she knew, and again, she was there for 2+ years. But as far as she knew, he was not involved in the ring of trafficking that Epstein was working.
So Virginia Jeffrey, she actually was also known as Trump's biggest fan, right? She had a book out, right? She says she actually showed this. I'm going to read it to you out of her book, A Ghost Come Back. So one day, my father took me to Trump's office. This is my daughter, Dad said. And his voice sounded proud. Trump couldn't have been friendlier, telling me it was how fantastic that I was there. Do you like kids, he asked. Do you babysit at all? He explained that he owned several houses. She also had a tweet back in the day. Hey, President Trump 2024, I'd say let the list be released and watch the cockroaches scatter out of the U.S. and find the nearest place where having sex with 11-year-olds is punishable by death. Your ex-employee, Mar-a-Lago, Epstein survivor, and biggest fan. P.S. I know who's on the Epstein client list. Oh, man. So, basically, the Dems released documents that say Epstein couldn't bait Trump into doing anything. This is from Ripcord. And that he spent hours with one of the victims and nothing happened. Could he have been getting information from her to give to the FBI? Could President Trump have been spending a long time with her to get the information he needed because he was actually an informant? To recap, Epstein tried to bait Trump into a sex scheme and he didn't bite. Seems the only revelation here is confirmation that Epstein was running a blackmail operation. So Gina Milan reminded us, Trump and Epstein, the real story, plain and simple. 2004, Trump permanently banned Jeffrey Epstein from Mar-a-Lago after learning he preyed on an underage girl at the resort. 2005, Trump personally alerted authorities about Epstein's behavior while Palm Beach elites stayed silent. 2009, Trump provided crucial information to the victims' attorneys, strengthening the case against Epstein. 2017, Trump signed a sweeping executive order to crush global child trafficking networks and online sex exploitation. 2019, Epstein was arrested by federal agents under Trump's Department of Justice. FBI raided Epstein's little St. James Island, uncovering decades of elite-enabled abuse. 2025, new Epstein files released. Trump was the first high-profile figure to sever ties, expose Epstein, and take action years before Hollywood, politicians, or the media finally woke up. No spin needed. The timeline tells the truth. When Trump calls this a Democrat hoax, he's 100% right. Again. And you got this one right here. Author Michael Wolff just got busted coaching Jeffrey Epstein on ways to hurt Trump in 2016. The guy wrote All or Nothing. Siege, Trump Under Fire. Right? Author Michael Wolff wrote these books on President Trump. The media acted like his books were real and not biased. All lies. The media is the enemy of the people. Brian Cates, I told you from the start what the play was, even as they began to run it. I told you they were going to take the demand for the release of the tainted Epstein evidence and use it as a literal club to pound the heads of Trump, Pam, Cash, Dan, Tulsi, and other Trump cabinet members. You will see the real Epstein evidence, which has had the fake junk that was planted inside removed months ago. There was a lot of fake stuff they injected in there. When Trump is done using it to force people like Bibi and King Charles and Carney and many, many others to do things they really, really do not want to do. Do you get it? Do you see? The constant attempts to force the issue early, to goad Trump into a mistake by tipping his and Pam and Cash's hands prematurely is not working and will not work. Trump will give up the leverage only when he's done using it on these folks. And so remember on the cue board, you didn't think we highlighted Epstein for no reason, did you? Those who were once protected are no longer. Timing is everything. Hunters become prey. Also remember this. November 12th, 2020. Shall we play a game? Nothing can stop what is coming. Who stepped down today? Forced more coming. Why is this relevant? How do you show the public the truth? How do you remove foreign interference and corruption and install U.S.-owned voter ID laws and other safeguards? It had to be this way. Sometimes you must walk through the darkness before you see the light.
Well, another big story breaking right now in a Fox News alert. The Justice Department, in a surprise move without any kind of warning that it was coming, released a transcript and audio from the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche's interview with Ghislaine Maxwell. Blanche posting it on X moments ago. Right now, we are going through the material so that we can bring you some excerpts from it, exactly what the two of them talked about. It's going to take a while, though, because there are hundreds of pages in these transcripts, and then the audio is going to take hours to go through. But David Spunt and our Justice Department team are working on it as fast as they can to try to break down some of the highlights and bring it to you.
This is quite a Friday night news dump. This is something that a lot of people had been asking for, were very interested in, not something we were 100% sure we would get. So this is quite newsy. You have to remember now, she said, Ghislaine Maxwell said that before this interaction, nobody from the government had ever spoken to her, period, in any presidential administration. This was her first interaction with a sitting White House administration official.
Yep. There's probably more than 300 pages to this transcript. The interview was conducted over a couple of days, over a number of hours each day. And again, there was an audio transcription. So we will, for the first time in a long time, hear the words coming right out of Ghislaine Maxwell's mouth.
Pretty interesting. Let's go to Communist News Network.
New details this morning. Hundreds of new pages have been unsealed in a lawsuit connected to convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
January of 2024.
Victim alleges that former President Clinton pressured Vanity Fair not to run a story on Epstein. The pages also shed new light on how Epstein's victims were recruited and what happened to them. CNN's Gene Cesaris joins us now. And Gene, we're talking about 900 pages here, so there's a lot to go through. What new details have come out?
Well, they came out last night combing through them. And, this all stems from a 2015 civil suit brought by Virginia Giuffre against Ghislaine Maxwell. And Virginia Giuffre had wanted her story to come out. She wanted a book. And so she became very close with a reporter out of Britain. And this reporter was encouraging her to go to the Vanity Fair magazine, to have them do an article on it. And here is what, in a newly undisclosed email from 2011, here's what Virginia Giuffre says. She says, considering that B. Clinton walked into VF, Vanity Fair, and threatened them not to write sex trafficking articles about his good friend, J.E., Jeffrey Epstein, so she didn't want to do it.
How about that? Did any politicians care about this story in 2024 and talk about Bill Clinton and his relationship with Epstein? Remember this, the DOJ official confirms Bill Clinton allegedly on plane with Epstein and children. Remember this? We had emails that showed information on this. James O'Keefe, journalist, caught it. Daily Mail even said Jeffrey Epstein's access to the Clinton White House laid bare. Visitor logs reveal the pedo visited the former president at least 17 times. Remember this, the unsealed docs say Bill Clinton was on the island with young girls and cite Epstein saying former president owed him a favor. See that? It's underlined. He said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls on that messaging and all the court stuff. Bill Clinton allegedly stormed into Vanity Fair. We heard about that. Remember, Hillary Clinton Foundation Crime Against Children was on Fox News. There's pictures of him on that airplane heading to the island. So, again, the newest Democrat hoax claims in one of the emails allegedly sent from Epstein to the Duke says everything is fantasy and that Bill Clinton never did anything nefarious or visited the island. Let's dive into that ridiculous and poor attempt to cover up years of child trafficking, abuse, and blackmail operations that took place. Epstein himself said that Clinton likes him young. Clinton also was on Epstein's Lolita Express airplane, the official charter aircraft to the island, 26 plus times on the flight logs, is alleged to be on the plane and the island with multiple underage girls. Bill and Hillary would have also signed Epstein in and out of the White House over 7 times and traveled to Epstein Ranch numerous times directly from the White House. Bill Clinton was also named Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. Epstein even had a painting of Bill Clinton in a blue dress with red high heels on his wall, to say the least. Do we have that picture? You guys remember that photo? I have to go back and find it and show that one off. Well, let's continue with this, shall we? A little bit more on how this all played out. The Democrats twist the Epstein emails. Donald Trump was the FBI whistleblower who turned him in. Democrats and their willing accomplices in the drive-by media are peddling lies that Trump knew about Epstein's girls. What they refuse to say is that Trump was the one who blew the whistle. In 2004, he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago after discovering his crimes, then cooperated with the FBI to expose him. Speaker Mike Johnson confirmed Trump's role as an informant, while even Epstein told author Michael Wolff that Trump was the man who turned him in. The truth, Trump stopped Epstein. He did not enable him. It's all make-believe. So look what happened when they tried to bring this to the floor for a vote today.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett just left the House floor, and I tried to do a UC, unanimous consent, of tried to get the Epstein files, get it straight to the floor, just to cut out all this nonsense. And, and the Democrats blocked it, oddly enough. Now here they've had it for 4 years, and they, obviously if there's something there about Trump, they would have released it. And now they're all, let's get it out, let's get it out. Well, I just made a motion to bring it straight to the dadgum floor, and they blocked it. They blocked it.
They blocked it. They blocked it. But, boy, they're all over mainstream media, and they're doing all they can to get the folks that are brainwashed, the sheep, to head that way over to the MSNBC. Let's find out what they have to say, because they always lie. And they have to keep their people from running out and finding out the truth.
Congressman, we're just getting a first reaction now from the White House to the release of these emails. This statement coming from the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt. I'm going to read it to you in full. The Democrats selectively leaked emails to the liberal media to create a fake narrative to smear President Trump. The unnamed victim referenced in these emails is the late Virginia Giuffre, who repeatedly said President Trump was not involved in any wrongdoing whatsoever and couldn't have been friendlier to her in their limited interactions. The fact remains that President Trump kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of his club decades ago for being...
Let's go to what this guy response is, because we already talked about all the stuff they're sharing.
Response to that.
My response is simple. Then release all the files.
Release the files. Come on now. And then Tim Burchett goes out there and says, let's release the files. Oh, no. No, we're not going to do that. These people are stupid. Maxine's stupid. They forgot about Sessions. Campbell, thank you for that reminder. Sessions on the cue board. Sessions began the Epstein investigation. When that is revealed, those who doubted may see the light. The wheels of justice turn slow, but when they turn, they are powerful. 10 times speed now underway. Pelosi attempted to block. Things are getting interesting. Epstein to Catherine Rumler. You need to talk to the boss in emails. Email was released. That's right. Epstein's writing an email. There's the email to Catherine Rumler. You need to talk to the boss. Who was Catherine Rumler's boss? You ready? Barack Hussein Obama. Gear up mentally for the ping pong match ahead. Entheos wrote, swinging back and forth, negative developments, positive breakthroughs, negative developments, positive breakthroughs. Expect a stretch where discouraging updates hit consecutively. The typical usual voices will chime in, declaring it's the end. Remember our mantra, emotions don't dictate our path. Stay steadfast. Things won't spiral out of control. Keep steady. We have all the momentum on our side. We have the wind on our backs. Hello, George said, have you noticed how many of the conservative Inc. influencers, those that say they're conservatives, that support President Trump and the movement forward of our country, they're now fueling negative narratives toward Trump? One of those, pretty surprising to see this, was Emerald Robinson out there on X. Trump is in the middle of the longest losing streak of his political life. This is released November 11th, folks. It's just one mistake after another. Inviting Al-Qaeda to the White House, ? Floating 15-year car loans, floating 50-year mortgages, arranging discounts for fat loss drugs. Yikes. Trying to stay positive, trying to inform everyone, and yet there'll be those out there that are going to seed the doubt leading up to many elections and so much more. And you can see it happening. But I tell you what, there's some positive moves. There's positive moves ahead. We see that just in, the gold surpasses $4,200. Did you guys know that? Did you know that silver went to $53.72? Those that jumped on board, we keep talking about that week after week. We've got an interview with Dr. Kirk Elliott, Precious Metals Rebound. He called it. It's happening. And many of you are jumping on board and you're realizing you're watching these and going, okay, I've had enough. I'm going to give them a call. And you know, you can go to amweknow.com/gold and reach out to Dr. Kirk Elliott and his team, and they will reach out to you, spend time with you. It's in the description box below or at our website. And you can rest assured that if you're hurting or anything's going on, they'll pray with you too. An amazing company. They'll pray with you. Just call them, talk to them, say, hey, here's my thoughts. Here's my fears going forward. Why do I want to get out of fiat currency? Why do I want to dump my bank account and put it into precious metals? Well, it's biblical and safe and a lot more. It's really, really good. So I just encourage you to check that out.
Thank you, Bev. There's a lot of questions in one there. I will say, I know the president has a very good relationship with Prime Minister Starmer. You have been there. You've seen them in their interactions. You've questioned both leaders in your time joining us when we've gone to the United Kingdom a few different times now. However, he has always been very frank when he disagrees with leaders, even whom he has a good relationship with. And the BBC, being a fair news organization, is definitely an outlet. I think these two leaders would disagree. The president has made it very clear that this is a leftist propaganda machine that is unfortunately subsidized by British taxpayers, and he thinks that's extremely unfortunate for the great people of the United Kingdom and Great Britain. And I think that the president was deeply concerned by the editing, the purposeful and dishonest editing of his speech that was so clearly fake news. And he rightfully dubbed that term many years ago, and this is a classic example of that. We see it in the United States all the time. We see it now in the United Kingdom. As you know, the president's external legal counsel has filed a lawsuit against the BBC. We expect that to continue, and whether they apologize or not is up to them.
The lawsuit's coming to the BBC. The UK is being investigated by FBI Director Kash Patel also for election interference. Boy, there's a lot going on that side. Some big news coming in. The UK is the main instigator for creating the Russia collusion. In other words, the UK, along with others that are part of the Five Eyes, spied on Trump's 2016 election campaign out of a U.S. embassy out of London. And our intelligence agencies like MI5, MI6, GCHQ, and our government knew, and they were involved. This is from Yorkshire Lass. And they were involved in extraditing information for Barack Obama, who ordered John Brennan and Gina Haspel to run Russiagate out of the city of London. While I'm reading that, just going to show you real quick. Remember, Obama keeps going over there to England. Yeah, the picture right there. We had the proof, videos. UK is not America's ally. It's the deep state's ally. They have been along every step of the way in the ongoing criminal conspiracy against President Trump and MAGA. From Obama's Russiagate spying to election interference to the January 6th op. Remember, he keeps showing up. Now our intelligence agencies are being investigated by the Trump team, according to an article in the New York Times. So not only do we have the exposure of the BBC editing a Trump speech during January 6th and a panorama documentary, which is massive 2020 U.S. election interference and inciting violence, and the exposure of Starmer and the UK government meddling in the 2024 U.S. election. We now have exposure coming out that the UK ran Russiagate. They were spying on Trump's 2016 election campaign, which was running out of U.S. embassy in London by our intelligence agencies on the order of Obama. I mean, seriously, the treason being committed here is earth-shattering. All's not well. Buried in the New York Times is the real story. Director Patel is investigating the British intelligence connection to Russiagate, and the spooks are terrified. There it is on your screen. All rely heavily on American intelligence to help keep their country safe. Though the FBI is a criminal investigative agency, it is also a major part of the Western intelligence gathering community alongside other U.S. agencies like the CIA. The FBI has offices and embassies around the earth. It's right there. A lot of big moving parts. Kind of explains why I was getting some news, and I don't have it in front of me, but we got word that Keir Starmer's saying, we're not going to give you intel anymore on these boats that are carrying drugs that you keep blowing up in the water. So we're going to not give you that anymore, America. So we're not going to help you anymore with your borders and stuff. We're upset with you. President Trump said, I'm proud to announce that Chicago, Illinois, despite all the radical opposition and obstruction we have from the mayor and the governor, has seen car theft, shootings, robberies, violent crime, and everything else drop dramatically since the launch of the Department of Homeland Security Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago only weeks ago. Shootings are down 35%. Robberies down 41%. Carjackings are down 50%. Almost 50%. And this is with just a small initial federal force, not the full surge we have done in Chicago and Memphis. As we ramp up more assets, these numbers will continue to drop. This has been achieved despite the extraordinary resistance from Chicago and Illinois radical Democrat leadership and the constant violent left-wing terrorism against ICE officers and federal agents that insurrectionist Democrat officials refuse to stop or prosecute, including constant physical assault and attempted assassination. Also insane, Secretary Brooke Rollins revealed 500,000 people receiving SNAP benefits 2 times under the same name and more.
And 20 plus others did not, and we're suing. We're in a litigation right now. But of the 29 that complied, what we have found is staggering. 500,000 people getting benefits 2 times under the same name. 5,000 dead people. 80% of the able-bodied Americans, meaning they can work, they don't have small children at home, they're not taking care of an elderly parent, they can work and they choose not to work, of course, because they're getting significant benefits from the taxpayer. So this light, Laura, that has now been shined on what is perhaps one of the most corrupt, dysfunctional programs in American history that we are working now. Very big announcements coming next week on this. We are cracking down. We now have a plan to fix it. And we're really, really excited about doing that for the American people.
Oh, snap. Anybody think the same thing? Oh, yeah, pun intended. Oh, snap. Oh, my goodness. Russiagate was hatched in London by John Brennan on Obama's orders. I forgot to show you this. Masks are coming off, says Saventla Lokova. Kirill Dmitriev, one of our favorites out there. Yes, and they went after Trump loyalists and patriots like General Flynn. The masks are off now. Time for actions to follow. The Yorkshire Lass reminded us indictments, subpoenas, and accountability are being set for the traitors. Get ready to see the heads roll. I've said it many times. Something big is coming to the UK. General Flynn's replied to a post by Kirill Dmitriev shared earlier, saying Russiagate was hatched in London by John Brennan on the orders of Barack Obama. The gloves are coming off. There must be subpoenas, indictments, and accountability. Americans cannot and will not tolerate subversion directed against our country by anyone. Anyone. The American people will hold on tight and continue to support our president, but there will come a time, if it doesn't appear anything is happening, the American people will become apathetic to believing in anything. The storm is coming. Remember, we noticed our USAID funding. Kirill Dmitriev even put this out for us to see. USAID was one of the top funders of the UK government-owned BBC for many years, including at the very moment the BBC doctored President Trump's speech. Can you get it? So your tax dollars, your hardworking money, stolen from you. You don't even have to pay the IRS. If you guys did your research, you find out you don't have to pay them a dime. It's voluntary. Anyway, you work hard. They take the money out of your pocket, steal it. They were giving it to USAID. USAID took your money and said, thank you very much. They sent it over to the BBC. And the BBC used your money to what? Work hard to ensure that they could help rig the election and make President Trump look like he caused an insurrection. He was the leader of it all. Huh. And there's the funding on your screen. Let's look at some more.
700,000 H-1B visa holders in America.
Now we're getting to the H-1B visas. Isn't that amazing, the much exposure that's happening?
Now, who is coming to this country to take these high-skilled jobs? As I mentioned, STEM fields dominate the occupations. And most of the workers come from India. In fact, 70% of H-1B visa holders come from India. Another 10 to 15% come from China. 80% of H-1B visa approvals are for entry-level or junior-level jobs. That's a little hard to stomach when we hear that we're not talented enough or that we're not skilled enough for these jobs when you consider that most of these jobs are actually at entry or junior-level jobs. And it's definitely to the benefit of corporations, tech companies that can hire foreign workers, trust me on this, cheaper than American workers. This is laid out, by the way, by billionaire tech entrepreneur Palmer Luckey.
There's so much H-1B abuse. You would not believe what I saw when I was in Silicon Valley. It is insane. It's obviously a program to try and replace U.S. workers with basically slave labor that can't ever escape. The H-1B abuse is crazy.
Can't find jobs because of the abuse. Kind of reminds me of this post. Italy's birth rate has dropped to a record low of 1.13 children per woman, with only 370,000 babies born last year, the lowest since 1861. Experts warn this decline is getting worse and shows no sign of recovery, creating a serious challenge for Italy's future. What do you guys think it is? It's happening around the earth. These kids are behind screens all day long. Their ability to find good jobs has been very difficult for so many years. Other folks are flown into our country to steal all the jobs. Those that do have jobs are being taxed to the point where they can barely make it. They're trying to work full-time job, pay their bills, and then they think, well, marriage? Why should I do that? Or if they're married, they're both working. I don't have time for children. I don't have enough money. Happens worldwide. Then they fill it up with the illegal migrants who are having 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids. They're marrying 4 women at a time, and they're got 20 kids, and they're living in a gigantic mansion, getting all these benefits handed to them. I don't know. I'm just speculating. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem announces, speaking of illegals, 150 illegal alien child predators and sex offenders have been caught in Florida under Operation Dirtbag. Not just the offenders, they targeted children, committed these sex assaults, battery, and attempted homicide. 150 individuals will be gone. Will be gone. These are the same ones. Foreign-born number and share the numbers there of why mass immigration killed Americans attaining the American dream. The age of the average home buyer over the last 100 years, 1925 is 25 years old. That was the average age. Lasted until 1975. It started falling apart in 1995 to 2005, and then we get to 2025. The average age is the age of 40. So you can't have a home. You're working, being worked to death. You're paying USAID all of your taxpayer money. You're giving it to the politicians who steal from us. And then you wonder why folks aren't getting married or having children. We've had enough. We need a strong military. The military is the only way. We said that all the time. And they need to be ready morally and ethically. And I saw this yesterday from Pete Hegseth.
Common sense means putting warfighting, lethality, as the senator mentioned, training, discipline, accountability, readiness at the forefront of everything we do at the Department of War. That means no more social justice, no more political correctness, no more toxic ideological garbage that infected the department. As I've said before, but we repeat and we repeat because as a good old television host, you know it takes a while for it to actually sink in. No more identity months, no more DEI offices, no more dudes in dresses. No more climate change. It actually was a thing. It actually was a thing. No more climate change worship, no more division, no more delusions, gender delusions or quotas, no more distraction. As the chairman of the Joint Chiefs puts it, Pete, you're clearing out the debris. That's what it is. We're clearing out the debris
Clearing it out.
front of NCOs and officers.
Hoorah.
We're done with that stuff. It doesn't take a PhD to understand that sergeants don't need sensitivity training.
That's right.
But we're taking the next step. We're not just undoing damage, we're solidifying the way forward. We're taking concrete steps to ensure that common sense reigns going forward. We're restoring a ruthless, dispassionate, and common sense application of standards.
Amazing. The standards are playing out before our very eyes. I wanted to finish today with something I just noticed from Observing Consciousness. He's going to be on the cruise with us. I'm looking forward to meeting him. Everything is connected. Did I miss anything? Many still think nothing is happening, yet the signals are everywhere if we zoom out. Governors, cabinet-level officials, intelligence chiefs, prosecutors, bankers, and corporate power centers are all under review or facing action. Katie Hobbs is being pressed on pay-to-play patterns in Arizona. Hillary and Bill Clinton have been subpoenaed in the Epstein hearings while the DOJ revisits its own conduct from that era. Barack Obama's national security circle and the intelligence directors who shaped the 2016 narrative are now before grand jury panels. James Comey faces a federal indictment. John Brennan, Peter Strzok, and Lisa Page are again under subpoena. Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook is named in a mortgage fraud probe. Now, New York AG Letitia James stands indicted on financial charges. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton faces an 18-count case under national defense statutes. State Attorney General Ken Paxton has filed civil action against voter registration networks, while Florida AG James Utmeyer investigates J.P. Morgan Chase over debanking and data sharing claims. Inside the IRS, the whistleblower who exposed the interference in Hunter Biden tax case now leads criminal investigations as the agency reopens its own files. Step back and the pattern forms. Simultaneous inquiries running through political, financial, and bureaucratic layers. The system is auditing itself. What looks quiet up close is movement on every tier once you widen that lens. Boom.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, once again we come before your throne in awe of you and how you continue to guide and direct our lives, our very lives at this time on this earth. Once we were living under such oppression for so long, many of us crying out to you, please help. So similar to what happened many years ago through your word, as you heard the cries of the people and asked for one man to go back. And he said, let my people go. And you brought the plagues and you got them out. And then you had to spend years waking them up and removing the strongholds of the cult and the mind control that was put on their brains to fall in love with a system that was literally killing all of them. So we're back at that moment again. You understand it all. You brilliantly put the right leaders together to help us. We ask that you continue to guide and direct our lives. Help those that are praying now, that are simply wondering when things will play out in their favor. We look forward to that day. Until then, we know that peace only comes from you and through your Son, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross and rose again after 3 days. And it's in him. It's in him, through him, that we have gained the Holy Spirit in our lives to give us a calm in the midst of the storm. So we come to you once again, asking for protection over those that are in harm's way, those that are fighting this battle. We thank you for the strength you gave those leaders to stand strong, to not give out money to those that don't need it or deserve it, who are trying to wreck the very country that we believe you put together for us, and to shine a light across this earth. We ask for this in all before your throne. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Folks, thank you for tuning in. Amazing week, months, year. Wow. Hard to believe we're in November, heading into December. I'm going to be prepping a couple of videos for next week as I'll be traveling. We'll have some out Monday and Tuesday probably, and then an interview. And just giving you a heads up, as I'm going to probably have a video out of the fake inauguration. So I'm going to have an oldie but goodie, and I'm going to talk about it leading into that. So just want to give you that. I'm trying to spend some time with my family, much needed. So thank you also. And remember, we have our Thankful Thursdays. It's in the description box below. You can click on that and just enjoy time together with your family and these gifts that are being handed out by Dr. Shockley. For now, this is LT Semper Fi with Them We Know, signing out.
$1 trillion of new investment in the United States. In 9 months, I've secured commitments of over $18 trillion. The stock market has set 40-time all-time record highs, and GDP growth in the second quarter was an amazing almost 4%. In the third quarter, we're on track to achieve an estimated 4.2, maybe more. Gasoline prices have plummeted to the lowest in 2 decades, and we're going to soon see $2 gasoline. The grocery prices are way down, and Walmart just announced that the cost of their standard Thanksgiving meal is 25% lower than 1 year ago. Since March, the price of eggs is down 85%. Energy prices are down, interest rates are down, and the cost of the typical new mortgage is down by nearly $3,000 a year. Day by day, we're making America affordable again.